Welcome, spiritual travelers, to a Mystic Owl Picker card reading. I hope you're having a lovely day today. Today's theme is a message from your future self. Anything that your future self wants you to know about your current situation, any guidance that they can provide to help you through. We have 4 piles today, pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. I'm going to get a place marker rune card for each of them, so just bear with me as I shuffle. I've wanted to do this reading for a while. I've actually just watched another video from another reader about it, and I thought, maybe it's time. So pile 1, you have the rune of Manaz. Pile 2, you have the rune of Fehu. Pile 3, you have the rune of Uruz. And pile 4, you have the rune of Dagaz. So I hope one of those images struck a chord inside of you, ignited your intuition. If not, maybe just pick a number. Remember, this is a general reading, so take that resonates with you and leave the rest behind. And let's get started with pile number 1. Hello, pile 1, with the rune of Manaz, which probably unsurprisingly is the rune of man or mankind, humanity. It's kind of a reminder that we are a spiritual entity inside like a human body for a very physical experience. So you've got the subconscious, I guess the body, and the sun, the ego, or the spirit. Yeah, I think it's a reminder that we are all part of something bigger, basically, and we're just here to experience the 3D realm, which I think is a lovely message. Just as I started filming this pile 1, I can't show you because the camera's too far away, but there's a little willy wagtail that just landed outside of my window, and he's kind of like chirping away at the moment, which I take as a very positive omen, so lucky you, pile 1. Let's find out, though, what your future self wants you to know by looking at your oracle cards. You're the card of tree people and sustenance. You have the card of soul retrieval and reclamation. You have the gibbous moon. You're very close to achieving your goal. Lovely. You have the breath of the cosmos card. My will to thy will. Micromanaging the universe. And your final card is the card of earth pulsing. Pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature. Okay, that's a clear message right there for you, pile 1. What I see for you, pile 1, from these cards, I get the vibe of a group that is quite controlling. I also see Manaz as being like the divine masculine side and using that very masculine energy to really push towards your goals here with the gibbous moon. You're very close to achieving your goal. There's something that you're trying to overcome or to there's a project or some sort of goal that you're trying to achieve, and you've been pushing and pushing and pushing towards it. And you've had a lot of success. I sense that you're almost there. It does say you're very close to achieving your goal. But I sense that you're struggling just to get to that final part. You're overcome that last hurdle, or to continue pushing. I am picking up on an energy of a group that's probably starting to get quite frustrated and exhausted with just the energy they're exerting with trying so hard to achieve a certain goal or overcome a specific challenge that's really been weighing you down in the past. But your future self wants you to know that you're almost there, but there's a need for you, pile one, to sort of relinquish control at the moment. I personally understand how hard that is, because I'm a very controlling person too, that really struggles to surrender and to let go of things, or to work from that divine feminine side and just allow things to sort of like come towards you. But the universe and your future self is really calling for you to maybe just to relinquish control a little bit and take some time out. So you've got here the card of Earth Pulse, slow down, time in nature. And you also have the card of the Tree People, Sustenance, indicating that it's time for you to maybe like look after your own needs and actually like fill your cup again. Take some time to revitalize and re-energize. I sense that you've been pushing so hard to try and achieve a certain goal or overcome certain battles, a group that's very determined to not give in. And I commend you on that effort, Pile One, for always pushing forward and not surrendering in a sense of like giving up and throwing the towel in. But there's a difference between throwing the towel in and maybe taking some time to rejuvenate and take some time out to like revitalize your energy so you can continue forward and keep pushing. And I think you're really being called to stop micromanaging in terms of like always needing to control every minor detail of whatever it is you're trying to achieve, that it's time for the universe to meet you halfway. So you've done a lot of the work and you've set the intention. I see you visualizing and planning out your goals and really like striving ahead to achieve a certain outcome. But the universe is saying, all right, take some time out. It's time now for you to surrender the need to control the rest of the journey, and we'll do the work for you to allow the intentions that you've set and all of that work that you've done to bake in the oven, I sense, and allow like the universe to do the rest of the cooking for you. It's time for the universe to take over and to match your energy and to complete the journey for you. And it's time for you to really take some time out to revitalize, I see a group that really could benefit from maybe taking a few days off work or having a holiday, or at least like stopping work at a certain time if this is a project at work that you've been working on and it's causing a bit of stress because you're just struggling to find the motivation to continue, or a certain challenge that's been getting you down in life and you can't quite overcome the end of the challenge. It's time just to just forget about it for a little bit and maybe switch off. A group that could really benefit from doing a lot of meditation or spending time in nature, Pile One. I am also seeing here, Pile One, a group that's very that likes to work alone a lot, a very independent group. You want to achieve your own goals and to be, I guess, to be responsible for the outcome of achieving your own goals, if that makes sense. Somebody that doesn't really like to work in groups, or maybe doesn't like to ask for help, I sense, when you are struggling a little bit. But with the card also of Manaz, remembering that we are all here as part of a divine human experience and that we are all part of something bigger. We are all united to some degree, and part of being human is to experience like the human contact and those interpersonal relationships, along with the card of soul retrieval. A group that maybe has given over too much of yourself to a certain project or a challenge, or maybe to another group or something potentially. And it's time for you to start focusing on yourself, working out who you are a little bit again, allowing the universe to do the rest of the work for you in terms of manifesting this goal or having this challenge overcome. But to really focus on yourself and your own needs right now. But definitely a real calling for you to maybe spend some time in nature again also, Pile One. I see a group that probably gets a lot out of just spending a little bit of time like meditating in nature or going for a walk in the local park or something like that. Maybe taking a holiday to the bush or towards the beach or something like that, just so that you can like recoup your energy and allow nature to like refresh you, so that that frustration and anxiety that I sense that you're feeling right now can just be washed away, and so that you can like get the energy to complete the rest of the challenge, knowing that the universe is supporting you also. And moving on, Pile One, let's get some further messages for you from the standard Rider-Waite Tarot deck. I haven't used this for a while. I do see a very like giving group though, even though I sense that you like to work on your own, or possibly don't like to ask for help. You like to be in control and don't like other people seeing how vulnerable you can be, or worrying other people through telling them or asking for help, I sense. But I do see a very loving group, and as I said that, the Empress card came out, right? A very loving, nurturing, warm, giving group. A group that's probably dedicated themselves to like helping other people a lot, but maybe you've just been a little bit stuck or feeling a bit stagnant. You're having trouble overcoming a certain challenge, or starting to feel your own way again, your own self, like to be that loving, warm, uplifted, vibrant person, I sense. So there's a real strong calling for you to just take some time out, Pile One, and know that working from that divine feminine side, looking after your own needs, like the Empress card here, is what you're being called to do right now. Let's try that again. Because the universe, Pile One, is calling for you to relinquish control and to be more receptive and allow this to come towards you now, because you've done the work, or at least to like revitalize and look after your own needs, so that you can continue on like working on your journey. And so your three cards that came out is the Empress card, which really relates to, as I was talking about, like starting to relinquish control and to start looking after your own needs a little bit. There's two messages there in terms of nurturing yourself and looking after yourself, taking some time out, like the card of sustenance here and the Earth Mother, to connect with nature again, like the Empress, who is very connected to nature. But also it's about being more receptive and allowing whatever it is that you're trying to manifest or overcome in your life to come to you. Sometimes we can get in our own head and just feel that we need to keep working and get so frustrated when things don't work out for us. But sometimes the best thing to do is just to pause and take some time out, because either the answer comes to us, or somehow it just seems like the solution is so obvious, and we can overcome that challenge quite easily. So there's a definite strong pause for you to get out, like the Four of Wands in reverse, to take some time out from home, to get away, to go somewhere and to recoup. Spending time in nature, I sense, is something that is really, you're being really called to do right now, and to relinquish control. And your final tarot card, Pile One, is the Queen of Cups. I sense that your natural or normal archetype, Pile One, of being emotionally balanced, but I do sense that recently you've got quite frustrated or agitated because you're struggling to overcome a certain challenge, or to finalize a certain project, to get the motivation, or to understand what the last phase is. But once you sort of relinquish control, take some time out to like fill your cup again. To get the energy and I guess the mental capacity to continue on, as well as like balancing out those emotions, to come back to this challenge or this project like emotionally balanced and feeling your own self again. I sense you'll have success. You just need some time out to allow those messages to come to you, and that deeper understanding of what it is you need to do, and also to allow like to be receptive and to allow that energy to flow to you. You've done so much work in terms of setting the intention and working towards it, but the last part is just allowing it to come towards you. Once again, you're almost there, Pile One. I am picking up on a group that's also probably a workaholic to some degree. that really like is very driven and determined and really wants to be the best that they can and to achieve some really lofty goals. But if you have no energy left because you're constantly working, not getting enough rest or having some fun, then you're out of balance, and it's then you don't have the energy to achieve those goals. So yeah, you're really being called to maybe take a holiday or break, get out into nature, and to look after yourself a little bit. Finally, for you, Pile 1, let's get a closeout message about what your future self wants you to know from the Universe Has Your Back deck. Ooh. It says here, my fearless freedom lights up the world. Once again, you've got the sun here shining like the solar plexus chakra, which is a very sort of divine masculine energy. Lots of yellow here also in the 2 tarot cards that came out with the Empress and the 4 of Wands in reverse. What I do sense also, Pile 1, is that you're very, very caught up in your own head about wanting to be successful and wanting to prove yourself to the world. Like a very strong go-getter that has some lofty goals that you're trying to achieve, but I also am picking up on an energy of you maybe being a little bit afraid of success, or not knowing all the answers in terms of how to get to your certain goal or outcome. It causes you a lot of anxiety. You're somebody that is controlling in the sense of always wanting to know the next step, and always wanting to know how to achieve a certain outcome or what the outcome is going to be to start with. A group that probably is not so comfortable with change or uncertainty. But this message is really clear in terms of like, if you relinquish control and allow the universe to come in and look after you and support you, and just start looking after your own needs, balancing out that energy and taking care of yourself, that your goals will come into fruition. My fearless freedom lights up the world. It's time for you to maybe just be a little bit more, to learn to be a bit more comfortable with the unknown. Once again, it's something that I'm starting to learn also. To be more comfortable with not knowing the answers all the time, or what the next step is, or what the outcome's going to be. To set the intention, but then surrender the need for a certain outcome or needing to know what that outcome will be. Your hard work will pay off, but it's time for you to just let the universe do the rest of the work, Pile 1. And that's what your future self wants you to know. I hope that resonated with you, Pile 1. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And let's move on to Pile 2. Hello, Pile 2. You have the rune of Fehu, which is a rune associated with cattle and cow, but as like a representation of wealth, of abundance. I guess you could trade cattle for whatever it is that you needed back in the day. It also supported like food and milk and sustenance for you. So it's generally an omen, or like a positive omen of abundance and wealth and success, which is beautiful. Pile 2. Let's find out what your future self wants you to know by looking at your oracle cards. Oh, you have the card of sacred sight and purpose. You have the card of bells and deflection. Oop. Interesting. You have Earth School. Life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. Nice. You have the golden children. Inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. Beautiful card. And your final card is the Blue Moon. Believe in the impossible. Wow. Okay, pile 2. I'm just going to call it as I see it, which is what tarot is all about anyway. I see a really gifted and lucky individual here. I actually see what I would call like an indigo child or a blue ray, like some kind of a starseed of some degree. My guess is potentially an indigo child or a blue ray. You're in the process of awakening to your certain gifts and talents that you're supposed to use in this life to help raise the vibration of humanity. That may or may not resonate with you. If you don't resonate with the term starseed, I do see a group that is just very talented or are starting to realize that they have certain gifts that are awakening inside of them anyway. And what you're being called to do is to start really believing in them, believe in the impossible, to really focus on these gifts that you're starting to awaken to, and actually like spend time building on them, working on them, because they're a divine gift that is supposed to help you be successful in this lifetime, with the card of Fehu here, and wealth and abundance. But also these gifts are like have been divinely given to you for a specific reason, a purpose. And I sense it's about like helping guide other people into awakening as we move in towards like the 5D and into the age of Aquarius, which is where we all work from that heart space and like build each other up and start sort of loving and being more caring towards each other. You're kind of a leader in a sense, or an instigator of waking up and being a beacon of light to other people that are starting to like waken up slowly also. It's time for you to really believe in the impossible, believe in these gifts that you've been given. It's a divine chance that you've been given right now. You're being called to walk through this arch and take a chance on actually bringing these gifts into fruition and making them like your career path or your divine purpose in a sense. Whatever that means to you. But I do see a lot of blue in this reading also. With the blue moon, obviously, you've got the blue in the card of Fehu. Lots of blue and deep sort of indigo in the Earth School card, along with the light blue in the Bell's Deflection card. Something to do with your throat chakra and communication. I see a group that are being called to like use their divine gifts or talents, whatever that is that you have that you're starting to awaken to really trust in those gifts and talents and to make it your calling in life and to actually communicate, to get it out and express yourself somehow to the rest of the world. It doesn't necessarily have to be about vocal communication, but it's the throat chakra is about like communicating in all forms, like verbally, non-verbally too. It relates to your mind and how you think and feel. So it's about you expressing these gifts to the rest of the world, and just know that the universe is supporting you, that it will lead to ultimate success. You've also got here, I noticed too, with the Earth School, soul growth, higher learning. I sense that you've probably been going through a period recently of like rapid downloads. You may have constant ringing in your ears, which is something that I have when I know that I'm getting certain downloads from my guides. Or possibly like some headaches around your third eye. These are signs of and indications of like downloads from the universe and your guides, but also activating and releasing that new energy and talents that you have, those gifts within you that you're supposed to use as a divine gift to help other people awaken to their own gifts and talents too. With the Bells and Deflection card, this card is really all about like deflecting negative energy from your home base or around where you live, so that you can, I guess, draw in positive energy and manage to stay in that higher vibration. It's about sort of deflecting away negative entities. But I see this as about, it's a calling for you to change paths if you haven't done so already. And also if you doubt that you have the strength of these abilities, to stop doubting in these divine gifts and to really believe in the impossible with the blue moon card here. This is a rare chance and a rare gift that you've been divinely given, and it's time for you to really believe in it and to make it work, because ultimately it will lead you to, with the sun rising behind the sacred site and purpose card and the card of Fei here, it's going to lead you to a lot of wealth, abundance, but also emotional wealth, like satisfaction and feeling fulfilled in life. I see a group that that potentially has like strong Libra placements. You may have a lot of planets in Libra, like this. Your sun or your rising sign might be in Libra. Potentially your moon is in Libra. All about serving humanity to some degree. Potentially Aquarius too. You may have a lot of Aquarius in your chart in terms of being a free thinker or thinking outside of the box, being unique. Trust in your divine gifts and that it will lead you to ultimate success and happiness. With the blue moon card, believe in the impossible. Once in a blue moon, this is something that is awakening inside you. It's time for you to really like take a chance on these gifts and to step through this portal. I sense that like potentially in your previous lives, you haven't had an opportunity like this to really be quite successful and to actually like throw yourself into whatever it is that you really want to do and allow these gifts to really blossom and bloom within you. But a group that's also being called to like meditate too, with the sacred site card here, to go to that place. And I see it being that place inside of you internally where you can like really unlock these talents and gifts and really start to wake up to who you are as like a fifth dimensional human being with certain talents that you need to share with other people. So a group that's being called to tap into a higher wisdom with the higher learning here in the Earth School by going into deep meditation and like connecting with your higher self. Your future self really wants you to be dedicated to actually like committing to these gifts and talents that you have and to really learn as much as you can about them too. Maybe it's time for you to start studying and reading about these talents, whatever they may be to you, but you're being called to express them to the world somehow with a lot of blue in this reading. Moving on, pile 2, let's get some further messages and insight about what your future self wants you to know right now. Yeah, take that dive like the woman diving in the Earth School and the woman and the kids wanting to walk through the portal here in the golden children card. It reminds me of the Fool card to some degree, like the energy of the Fool and just taking a chance, going out, giving this a real chance and dedicating yourself to it. I'm really struggling to communicate today, pile 2, and I blame Mercury retrograde for that. Ooh. Oh, okay. So the 3 cards that came for you, pile 2, you have the King of Cups. You also have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups to me is the initiation of intuition and starting to believe in the magic of the world, that maybe fish can talk to you and communicate with you. I do see a group here that may have a lot of like Piscean energy in your chart too, potentially with the King of Cups and the Page of Cups, with the fish coming out of the cup, maybe strong Piscean placement or a lot of water in your chart also. But strong intuition, a group that has like some really strong divine gifts, rare gifts, a group that has strong intuition and probably some strong claircognizance and inner knowing, just having a deeper understanding about what's going on with you and your surroundings and potentially other people. But a leader also, the King of Cups is that leader that's emotionally balanced, that leads through, discerning what is right and wrong through how they feel, but also is very intellectual too. So balancing out those thought processes along with what they feel intuitively is the right thing to do. You are a leader, pile 2, and you're being called to lead the world into the next phase in what I would call the age of Aquarius, where we all support each other and love each other and really support each other to like go after and really believe in our own talents so that we can all sort of work together, like raising humanity by trusting in our own talents and abilities that we've been divinely gifted with. You have some very strong divine spiritual gifts that are awakening inside of you. With the Page of Cups, it's initiating right now, and you're starting to get a lot of downloads that are activating. And I sense that potentially you're being called just to trust in these and to maybe change your mindset from doubting them and to really like trust in that intuition and clarity that you are coming into. The Ace of Swords is strong claircognizance and really like just having a deeper understanding and inner knowing of what's going on. For me, it's about an epiphany, a sudden understanding, and also a strong connection, a very clear and strong connection with the universe and your spirit guides. I see a group, as I mentioned earlier, that I would call like a starseed, but more so like an indigo child or like a Blu-ray. Lots of Arcturian energy here too. But there's definitely a calling for you, pal, to spend a lot more time in meditation and reflection. Do a lot of like introspection and inner work so that you can strengthen this connection with your spirit guides and the divine and really trust in your intuition and share your gifts with the rest of the world. I do see a very emotionally balanced group too. You're not someone that really like loses your shit very quickly. I sense that it takes a lot to really like throw you off or to get a rise out of you. And you need to maintain that, I sense, because I do see that there probably will be some hardships on this journey with the Bell's card and deflection. You need to like just trust that if you continue to work on these connections and trust in the divine that's guiding you, that you can overcome any challenge and ultimately gain clarity and success and fulfillment in this life. This is a really amazing reading for you, pal, too. Finally, for you, let's get a close-up message from The Universe Has Your Back deck. But once in a blue moon, it's time to capitalize on this, to really trust in these gifts that you've been given, or whatever it is that's blooming and awakening inside of you, and to really commit to it too. Spend time working on it. Do as much research as you can into whatever this reading means to you, so you can get a deeper understanding of what's going on. But definitely a strong connection with your spirit guides that is coming through and getting stronger and stronger. They're really calling you to like change paths and to do something bigger. I've also noticed here with the Ace of Swords, along with the King of Cups, that you have two crowns too. There's two messages I'm getting from that. So the crown is in terms of like being a leader, like the king, having a lot of power and control and being able to help guide other people on their journey, but doing it from a very loving and emotional sense, being very compassionate and understanding. But also the crown in terms of your crown chakra, along with the purple here, with the woman diving from this, I guess like a portal that's opened up into Earth. So a very strong connection, and your crown chakra is probably very active right now. I sense that potentially you are getting a lot of buzzing in your ears or maybe some headaches with your third eye. And it's just because you're downloading a lot of like new inner knowledge and wisdom. It says here, my vibes speak louder than my words. Look at the purple in that card too. My vibes speak louder than my words. Your vibration is increasing with the more work that you do and the more trust and commitment that you put into this to these gifts, pal, too. So you're being called to really commit to it. Your vibration is rising, and I sense that people can see that in you, around you. They can see that you're starting to feel a lot happier and more vibrant in life. And speaks louder than words too. That really talks about your communication, but expressing yourself somehow. These may not necessarily be like spiritual gifts in terms of claircognizance or a deep intuition. It may also be like certain talents that you have, like lyrical talents or dancing or singing or something like that. But you're being called now to like dedicate yourself to whatever that talent or spiritual gift is, and know that when you share that to the rest of the world, that you're following your north node and your soul's purpose in this world. That's all I have for you, pile 2. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And let's move on to pile 3. Welcome, pile 3. You have the card of Uruz with the bull breaking free. This rune is about power, like lots of physical strength and power, determination and perseverance, like brute force to some degree. Let's see how that relates to the rest of your oracle cards and what your future self wants you to know right now. You have the card of Vision Quest and Seek. You have the Trickster and Challenge, okay. You have the card of Starbathing, Light Body, Crystal Grid, Transmission, Activation. You have the Void, Stop, Embrace Winter, Great Cosmic Womb. And you also have Conclusions Are Within Reach, Full Moon Eclipse. What I see for you, pile 3, is that your future self is calling for you to stop right now and maybe consider changing paths. The reason I say that is that you have both the card of Trickster and Challenge, along with the Void, which are both cards related to needing to take a pause and to reflect upon your past or the situation that you're currently in, and to start to question whether it is, like the woman in the Vision Quest Seek, whether this is the correct path for you, or whether what you've been doing recently is like serving your highest good or your higher self. And I'm not saying that you've done the wrong thing, or that you've made some mistakes that you need to like amend or anything like that, but I do sense that your future self wants you to maybe just have a bit of a pause and to start wondering if whether you're following the right path, or if there's something that you need to release from your current life, or something that you need to change, just so that you can feel a lot better and actually continue on in your journey to being the best version of yourself. I do see a very strong-willed and determined individual. I am also seeing a group similar to pile 1 that is probably quite controlling and feels the need to always know what the next step is, or what the next outward, like how to achieve a certain outcome. Very control-driven and needs to sort of relinquish control and surrender like the need to be in control of every step of the journey. Just to start trusting in the unknown, with the Void card here and the deep unknown. Learning to be okay with not knowing the answer and not knowing what's going to happen next. So the Void card is about really like embracing the unknown to some degree, which is similar to the Trickster card and Challenge. However, the Trickster card and Challenge is about sort of letting go of something that's not serving you, and then being okay with whatever is coming in to replace that. But there's always a pause there of not knowing what that will be. But you're called to like draw upon your inner strength with Uruz here, and to go within with Vision Quest and seek to seek the answers of what else you're supposed to be doing right now, to plant new seeds and to sort of wait for them to blossom and bloom, basically. You're currently in a place, I see it being like the Hanged Man in tarot, where you're being forced to feel uncomfortable in that sort of limbo phase where you're not sure what's going to happen next. I'm getting the feeling that maybe things are starting to fall apart in your world around you, or things just aren't working out the way that you've been hoping for, because you're being called to like assess what your priorities are and what you really want to do with your life and where your path is taking you, and to let go of anything that isn't serving you. But to also relinquish control. There's a group here that needs to relinquish control and that need to always, forge ahead and be okay with the unknown and trusting in something bigger that the universe will provide for you to some degree. So very similar to pile 1. If you were deliberating between pile 3 and pile 1, there might be a message for you there also. But I do sense that when you surrender control and the need to control and start being okay in this limbo phase and not knowing what's going to happen next, that things will start to emerge for you with the sun rising behind the mountains in the horizon here. Along with the full moon eclipse, conclusions are within reach. I sense that the answers that you are seeking, pile 3, or that divine inspiration will pop in and you'll have a deeper understanding about what it is that you're supposed to be doing, or what is better for you, what the better path is for you, and have a deeper understanding about why certain things just haven't been working out for you, or why you felt like you've been challenged a lot by the universe recently. These things are happening for a reason, for your personal growth and for a deeper understanding to emerge. So I do see a group that's probably being called right now to just surrender to the breakdown, like the Tower card in a way also. Things are falling things are falling apart around you, and it's time to really just surrender to that and allow it to happen so that something new and more beautiful can emerge, and just know that whatever it is that's being replaced will be much better than what was there before. I also am hearing that you need to trust in your own strength, pile 3. You have a lot more strength than I think that you even know. This is happening because your guides and your future self want you to know that you have the willpower to overcome these challenges and to get through this phase. This is kind of a test in a way to prove to yourself how strong you are, that you can get through this pain and this uncomfortable feeling, this void that you're experiencing right now of not knowing what's going to happen next. You're leveling up, actually, I see, pile 3, with starbathing, transmission, activation, along with the vision quest and seeking a higher path and higher knowledge. I see you leveling up, but there's things that you need to release, and you need to relinquish control, and that need to always know what the next step is, or that deeper understanding about how to achieve certain goals. But you have the power within you, pile 3. This is also about self-empowerment, understanding that you have the power to do this, to trust in that divine wisdom and information that you're receiving, but also know that you, in this 3D world, has the ability to overcome this challenge and this uncomfortable phase that you're going through right now. And it's all for your higher good. Moving on, pile 3, let's get some further messages for you about what your future self wants you to know right now. I do actually also see a lot of orange in this card, with the card of Trickster and Challenge, the Vision Quest and Seek. Also in the corner of the Starbathing card, and the card of Uruz in the sky. There's lots of orange and red and yellow, but I see a lot of orange related to your sacral chakra, which is all about the sacral chakra is all about passion and creativity, but it's also the feminine center of the body. Trusting in the divine feminine energy and being a little more passive in your approach to getting through this, waiting it out to some degree, knowing that if you relinquish control and start being more receptive, that the clarity will come, the clarity that you seek with the Vision Quest card will come, and you'll have a deeper understanding about why you're going through this and what you need to do next. You're leveling up, pile 3, but you're being called to trust that you will be okay with the unknown. And I, for one, know how hard that is, because I'm a bit of a control freak myself. I always like to know what I need to do next, or what the outcome of a certain situation will be. But I'm being forced myself time and time again to just surrender, and it's been the most challenging experience of my life. I've been in a phase for the last year and a half where I don't know where I'm going with my life or what I'm being called to do, but I'm trusting that during these tarot readings and getting into spirituality more and really like meditating daily and committing to something bigger is my calling. And it's starting to pay off because I'm feeling a lot happier in my own self. I'm starting to get like the rewards to some degree from both the channel, but also in my external world and how I like interact with other people. So just know that this is for the greater good, that it is guiding you to something much bigger and better than what you've been experiencing previously. Ooh. All right, so the three cards that you got, pile 3, are the Six of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, and you also got the Knight of Cups in reverse. Yeah. So what I see for you is that this is kind of like an ego death to some degree. With the man here in the Ten of Swords stabbed, it kind of reminds me of the Death card. And also with the Knight of Cups in reverse, it's about like you becoming your most authentic self and releasing the need to control or always to like, I suppose with the Knight of Cups in the upright position, charging ahead or being controlling. But also about how you treat other people too. Bringing into balance with the Six of Pentacles here, your personal interactions with people and also how you treat yourself. You're leveling up in terms of like, and coming into your own authentic self by learning to trust, basically, but not only trust in the divine and the guidance that you're receiving, but and trusting that you will get through this really dark, uncomfortable phase that you're in right now where things are just falling apart and you have no idea what's going on. But trusting other people too. So the Six of Pentacles is a man giving and receiving. So he's giving to the people that are less fortunate than him, but also receives like some wisdom from them and a feeling of gratitude and fulfillment for being able to be of service to some degree. So what's happening for you, pile 3, is that you're relinquishing those things that aren't serving you. And I sense this is probably some habits that you have or potentially some negative like thought processes with the Swords card here in your mental sort of world. Relinquishing some sort of mental thought processes that aren't serving you and just knowing how powerful you are. Not only that you will get through this phase of uncomfortability and uncertainty, but then when you get through it, you're going to be a lot more happier and vibrant. You'll be turning the Knight of Cups in the upright position and being your most authentic, charming, happy, giving and caring individual. So you'll be leveling up in terms of finding like more inner peace within who you are as a person. And seeking your higher purpose, which is all about loving and giving, I sense, pile 3. Finally, for you, let's get a closeout message from the universe has your back. I do see that you really want the answers right now, pile 3, that you're really confused, you're feeling really uncertain and confused, and you don't know what's going to happen or why everything is happening to you as it is right now. But just know that if you just surrender and take some time to meditate, or at least be okay and learn to feel okay with this uncertainty, that's when things will start to make more sense. And I sense that you'll start to understand that your purpose is more about giving to people less fortunate than you, or starting to be more compassionate and loving to both yourself and other people. Conclusions are within reach. If you do the work, pile 3, and learn to be okay with not being okay, that's when things will be okay again. And your card says, I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. Okay. Oh my gosh. That card could not encapsulate the message that I'm trying to like give to you right now, which is all about learning to be okay with not being okay right now. I'm going to read it again. I've got tingles from that one. I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. So you are in a place of being forced to surrender and be okay with feeling confused and vulnerable and not having an understanding about what's going on right now. It's about you learning to love yourself despite not having everything being the way that you want it to be. And when you get through this and learn that everything will be okay and that you as a person have some certain talents and gifts that you can share with other people, then that's when I think you'll find the clarity and things will start falling into place again. And personal growth amid the discomfort. Like being in the void and the trickster going through a certain challenge right now. Just learn to be okay with things falling apart and know that it's for your greater good. Try not to fight it anymore. Pile through and know that you have the power to get through this right now. That's all I have for you. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And let's move on to pile 4. Hello, pile 4. With the rune of Dagaz. This is the rune of the dawn or the breaking of a new day. Like daylight to some degree emerging. Something, a fresh start, basically. New energy, which is really beautiful. Like the butterfly sort of breaking away from the cocoon. Something is emerging, I sense. But let's find out what your future self wants you to know right now with your oracle cards. Your first card. Oh, it's a card of prayer and hope. I just love the colors in this card. Ah, you have the Shaman card and completion. Nice. You have Star Ancestors, Hidden Secrets, Lost Wisdom. Look a little deeper. You're the card, you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness, face your true north. I'm chuckling because I've actually never seen that card before. But when I read it, it kind of resonated with me a little bit. I consider myself a bit of a weirdo, but that's okay. And your final card is look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. Okay, beautiful colors too, I love that. The first thing I'm going to point out for you, pile 4, I see a rebirth and a new beginnings here. A fresh start coming in. So you have the card of the Shaman in completion, along with the rune of Dagaz and like the dawning of a new day and a fresh start, rebirth, new energy. So something is ending and something is beginning here. So every end is a new fresh start, right? The end of something is the start of something new. Like when we die, we go back to 8-dimensional self or 12-dimensional self and get to start something new with like new knowledge and a new beginning, basically. Along with the card here of full moon in Sagittarius, look at the bigger picture, but with the arrow here, the bow and arrow, Sagittarius being the centaur, like shooting off into the distance and then charging after that arrow, following their north node in a sense of wanting to explore and really fulfill their destiny in this life. I sense that what's happening for you is that you've been called to really follow your true north, as it says here, and that you're not for everyone. Face your true north. You're being called to like discover and follow your north node. You've also got here the card of prayer and hope, along with your the star ancestors, and it says here, lost wisdom. Look a little deeper. I sense that you're also being called to spend time in meditation, or to spend time reflecting and doing a lot of like journaling and inner work to find out what it is that really inspires you in this life, to find out what that thing is that really like makes you want to get out of bed every morning and just get to it, and like, you know, to spend the day like working on that thing that inspires you and you know that you are good at and can share with other people. So your ancestors and your future self, Pile 4, your ancestors also are calling for you to take time to reflect about what it is that you want to do and what legacy you want to leave in this world, and to like really start dedicating yourself to it, to be like the center in Sagittarius and to go after it, guns blazing. I am picking up on a group that knows or has a certain gift or talent that you really want to go after. There's something in you, I sense, Pile 4. If you just think about it a little bit, there's something that you already know that you want to do, but potentially there's a little bit of fear here. With the card of you're not for everyone, I sense there's a little bit of fear of going after it because you're afraid of being judged by other people about it. Or you are wondering if it will resonate with everyone else, if people will like what you do, or whether it'll lead to success. But you are really like the butterfly. You've blossomed, you're coming out of your cocoon and starting to show your true colors to the world. And it's something really beautiful. You have a talent or a gift that you're supposed to share. And it's time for you to really understand that following your true north node, like the star sign of Sagittarius, really going after their own dreams and goals, that you're actually committing to something bigger. Look at the big picture, that you're sharing your gift with the rest of the collective consciousness and helping raise the vibration of the collective consciousness, like inspiring other people to change paths and to do what they love also. I see that you've probably been praying and hoping about this for a long time, but now it's time for you to do the work, to just trust in this divine wisdom that your future self and your ancestors are passing on to you right now. You're being activated and really being like called to follow this, and that it will lead to like, it'll lead you to ultimate fulfillment and feeling really happy within yourself, just knowing that you're doing the right thing and that you're like fulfilling your soul's deeper urges. I also see here with the card of Shaman. The shaman basically helps sort of you reclaim your soul, your inner soul, and tap into that deeper subconscious wisdom that you have. It's time for you to really spend a lot of time in meditation, or potentially in your dreams too. I'm picking up on Pile 4. Your future self and your ancestors are trying to communicate to you through meditation or through your dreams. So take note of your dreams and write down anything that seems strange or unusual, and maybe do some research on what the deeper meaning of that is. But yeah, it's really time for you to like believe in yourself and to go after whatever it is that you've always wanted to do. Your hopes and prayers are being answered, and your future self is saying, yes, now go for it, it's time. And just know that even though you may not be for everyone, there's going to be like a group of supporters out there, people that really identify with you and understand you at a deeper level, that will have your back and that you will be successful. You're supposed to be like the butterfly, like flapping your wings and setting free, as opposed to being stuck in that cocoon and in that box that you put yourself in that you're just unhappy with, Pile 4. I do also see a group that potentially is quite spiritual and has some spiritual gifts too, like Pile 2. Similar reading to Pile 2 also. With the card of Shaman here, along with like the card of prayer and hope, indicating that you have a strong connection with your guides. Full moon in Sagittarius and following your North Node. I see a group that potentially is quite connected and has like maybe some mediumship abilities, but definitely some spiritual gifts. A group that probably has very strong like clairvoyant abilities and just knows what's going to happen next and what to do next. Like the centaur in Sagittarius firing the arrow and knowing where to go. So just trust in that intuition and that guidance that you're receiving, not only from your future self, but from your ancestors and your spirit guides, powerful. And believe in your talents, because it's time for you to really step out into the world and actually have a go, and to find ultimate success and fulfillment in following your dreams and passions. Beautiful. Moving on, powerful, let's get some further messages and insight about what your future self wants you to know from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. What I do also see is there's a similar concentric circles in both the Shaman card and the Prayer card, along with a lot of very similar colors too, like red, orange, yellow, white, blue. Similar colors in both of those. And what that means to me is that you are awakening and finding, like, starting to come into your own. That inner wisdom is sort of starting to bloom and blossom within you, and you're starting to really trust and believe in it. And your true colors are starting to show. Don't be afraid to get out there and to not give a shit what other people think. Powerful. And it's hard, I know, but that's why I started doing this reading. Ooh. I started tarot because I felt called to do it, and I want to try help other people and guide other people into finding their North Node, basically, also. But it's been challenging because I have issues with self-esteem and wondering whether this will actually be successful. But if you do it because you enjoy it and you love it, and that resonates and radiates out of you, other people really like identify with you and can understand what you're doing. So just trust that this gift is divinely given and that you're supposed to do it. Okay. So the three cards that came out for you are the Four of Pentacles, you have the Two of Cups in reverse. Sorry, the Two of Swords in reverse. And you also have the Moon card. So I'm getting two messages from these cards. The first is that I sense that you have multiple talents, 4 or more potentially, pile 4. You have 4 or more talents. I see that maybe you are unsure on which one that you should go after. And I sense that you're in a stage of what I would call analysis paralysis, which I got from another reader recently. I might tag that in the video. Another reader put that in a comment section, but an analysis paralysis of not knowing which one you're supposed to follow, basically. There's a little bit of confusion here about what your path is. I think you know that you're supposed to change paths or to follow your dreams and passions, path 4. You understand that that is your calling in life. But as to which one you want to follow or which one is going to be the most successful, I sense that you're a little confused about which path to take. All I can say to that, I think, pile 4 is, I think you already know. I see a group that probably is very in tune and has a very strong connection, that probably intuitively already knows which gift or which passion they're supposed to follow. But B, it doesn't really matter. That just try them all out, see if one works, and if it doesn't, then maybe go to the other one. I would suggest maybe trying out the thing that you've always wanted to do. Really commit to like that biggest passion of yours, the goal that stands out as the most fun and the one that like really like warms your heart when you think about it. You know, move past beyond this confusion by just giving it a go and seeing what happens. But also, I also see a group that once again I see has probably some multiple spiritual gifts here. The moon also is an indication of delving into the deeper subconscious and unveiling certain gifts and talents or knowledge that you didn't know you had within you. I see a group that potentially has more than one spiritual gift that they can help share with the world. Sagittarius are a very like divinely inspired group that are given confidence in their own abilities and really know how to go after it. So it's time for you to really trust in whatever gift or talent that you have, whether it be spiritual gifts, which I sense you have. I see clairvoyant abilities here, strong claircognizance and an inner knowing. Or whether it be a certain talent or creative passion that you have that you've always wanted to try. You're now being called to really commit to that pile 4 and to believe in it and know that it will bring you a lot of joy and satisfaction, and it is divinely given to you. You may not be for everyone, but you will be for a lot of people, and that's all that matters. And finally, for you, pile 4, let's get a closeout message for you from the Universe Has Your Back deck. I am sensing that you're in a phase right now of feeling a little confused about what you're supposed to do or where you're going in life. I sense that you feel that you need to change paths right now, but you're not sure what it is you're supposed to do. But just know that you are being guided and supported, and that if you try one and it doesn't work, then that's okay. Just try something else, you know. If at first you fail, then try again. Okay. It's the same card that came out for pile 3, which is really amazing. I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amidst the discomfort. Okay. Look at the moon phases in this card too. There's 3 moons there. The moon is emerging. It's going from the first quarter moon all the way through to like the full moon. So something is emerging in you. Something is starting to illuminate. Just like the sun sort of rising in the prayer card. And the rune of Degaz, something is emerging in you, some new energy, like the need to change paths and to like follow your dreams and passions. But right now is kind of a tricky time because you're feeling a little confused about what your path is or what you're supposed to be doing. But just know, pile 4, that, well, the universe has your back to start with. And also that you have multiple gifts and talents that you could make a living from. And if one doesn't work out, then you can fall back onto that next one anyway. But I sense you already know what your path is, and you just need to trust in that, pile 4. That's all I have for you. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.